Alright, everybody. It's been a while, but we are back. This has been a popular request for quite some time now. Most of you probably know we post a free weekly watch list on our blog every weekend, and there's been quite a few requests asking if we can make a video on them, so let's get started with this week right here. If you haven't already, you can check out the link in our bio for the True Trade blog, and in there we highlight 5 to 6 key stocks we're watching every week, whether it's earnings or something that moves a lot, can help narrow down your search on what you want to be looking to trade. And let's get started with a few that we're paying attention to. As of recent, SPY's been a pretty basic one we've been watching. It's been moving quite well with the market. A lot of trade opportunities are available, and it's also a really nice gauge of which direction the market overall is going to be heading in for the most part. Let's start on the daily. We've had, basically last week we were ranging. This was our close last Friday, and we basically maintained that range all trading week. We hit the top a few times. We had a breakout on Thursday, which failed. False breakout, and then it rotated all the way back down to the bottom of the zone. Early next week, as long as this zone can hold, you can look to be a continued buyer. So as long as the 428 zone is holding, buy opportunities are available. If 428 does break, we would be looking to target down towards 426, 422. The 426 has kind of just been important over the since basically January, or since this location right here. It was our pretty key support. We broke down a few weeks ago, and then we had a retest close to 426 earlier this past week on, Tuesday? Yeah, on Tuesday. So if we do get under this, we'll be looking to target this and then towards the 422, 421, which is a closing candle right here. And that was pretty close to this low right here. So 422 to 421 would be the next target. And if it does really get snowballing to the downside, 415 would be the next one I want to keep my eye on. If we're looking at an hourly chart, we had quite a bit of consolidation here on our recovery day. We had a break up, consolidated for a few hours, and shut up. So this would be key to watch on the downside if we do get going there, and as well as the low from that day. Now on the upside, we again had a failed breakout this past week. Doesn't mean we can't test it again. So if buyers do continue to hold down here, it can probably clear, Friday's highs. Could be looking for a move back towards the gap from Thursday, and then maybe even back to the high 437, 439 zone. This zone gets cleared, you can be targeting the high from Thursday, and then over that, probably back towards 444. Next up on the list, we have Crowd. So, Crowd's on the list as it has earnings coming up this week. When is it? So, 7th, 8th, midweek, Wednesday. What are we going to be looking for in Crowd? Well, just off the top, what did we have last week? We had a breakdown candle here, or started this breakdown right here, 205. We ran a retest of it. We saw a bit of selling and reversed back down. We had some buying occurring at the 190 zone. It was pretty much resistance back in mid-February. Once we had this breakout, we saw 2 days of buying here before breaking back under. So in the short term, we could be looking for short opportunities around the 190. Looking at an hourly, it's a little bit easier to see the importance of some of these zones. So as you can see, we're holding over, breaks under, stays under, broke over, held, and then broke back under. So any retest into this zone could provide a short opportunity. Whereas on the downside, we had a lot of back and forth happening around the 171 area, so we want to keep a close eye there. And then around 161 if it gets any lower than that. So this zone right here had a lot of buying back from, late January, so I'd want to keep a close eye there too. Not too interested in it as early in the week, but kind of just want to wait and watch to see how it reacts after earnings and where we can get going. Of course, we don't know which way price is going to go after earnings, so it's always better to wait and react than try to predict something. Early in the week, though, if we do come towards this 190 zone, I definitely do like that for a retest. Well, this is a breakdown, retest the breakdown area, and short opportunity. Now, next up, we have Apple. Been a while since we played this, but it doesn't move a whole lot, but It's usually a really good option for some smaller accounts. What do we have last week? Again, this was our reversal 2 weeks ago on Thursday. Consolidation. This was a breakdown candle, and we had cleared it. So similar to SPY, we had a break up. This one was a little more sustained. We had a 1 day break and the second day held. This was the day SPY reversed. What did we have here? So we had our breakout, and we held the breakout, and then we gave the breakout away. So we're looking at a smaller time frame. That 165.50 was pretty important. Actually, we'll have to go a little smaller than that. So 5 minute, this was Wednesday's price action. As you can see, we had a lot of back and forth occurring here. Flush it, gets back over, tries to maintain, and then breaks under, flush. Gets over it on Thursday. No, this is Wednesday. So this day was Tuesday, this was Wednesday. We get over it, buyer sustain, pushes up to the gap, gaps over the gap, and then breaks back under. Initially sees buying at this on Thursday, and then Friday we gapped under. Was a great short trade underneath it. So in the short term, we can be eyeing shorts underneath this level at 165.50. If it does give back over this, could look for a long. Probably to the first target would be the overnight gap from Thursday, and then back over that we can look for that 167.30 and then even high of Thursday. On the downside, we have seen a lot of buying occurring. We'll say 162. Go back to the hourly chart. If the 162 gives in, we could be looking for a rotation back towards 160, 159. If that zone gives in, this is where we had our reversal base on that move 2 weeks ago. Again, we had a break up. We held the 157 and continued grinding up. So that would be on close watch. Basically, if 162 gives in, definitely want to continue to stay short, push it down towards the 160 zone. Now, fourth name on the list, we have NVIDIA. What do we have here? So we had, again, this was a reversal 2 weeks ago, and then the last few trading days apart from that Friday breakdown, notice how we're kind of just maintaining the 224 zone. We had a buy opportunity here, buy, and then it broke under to end last week. So this would be my early week pivot. If it stays under this price, we'll continue to favor shorts. If it gets back over, could look for longs probably to the Friday's highs, and then maybe even back to the top here, 243, 246.68. Had to draw a line right here too. 243.85 was our kind of where we kept rejecting last week. We're looking at an hourly chart. On the downside, we do have a lot of important zones present right here. Well, if you look further to the left, we had a lot of back and forth going along 230. 1 day, 2 days, second day, and then third day before breaking. And then on Friday, if we even look at a smaller time frame, it kind of was our Friday pivot after the morning drop. We rejected, tried to break over, failed, right back down. So early next week, say Monday, if we're staying under this, we can kind of use this as an early week pivot. If it stays under this, can look for a move back towards those lows, gets over, maybe a rally towards its highs, although I would much more favor letting it, say if it opens above this, let it rally and look for a short into 234. But again, it'll depend on what the market conditions are looking like early morning. And then apart from the 225, we'll go to the hourly again. That zone was pretty important right here. Again, this was a reversal day on the 24th of Feb. We had our move up. We were holding 220 as support, but we were rejecting the 225.50 area as resistance. Once we broke, we kind of exploded. Where did we bounce last Friday? At 225.50. So you could look for this as again another key opportunity, key level to be watching next week. If it's holding, you can look for buying opportunities. It breaks here. Continue to look to short towards 221, 220. And then again under that, might even head all the way back towards that 210 level from this reversal candle or big buy candle. Next up, we have Tesla. Been a while since I played Tesla as well, or since it's been on the watch list at least. Pretty similar to some of these other charts. The thing with Tesla was on Friday though, in relation to tech stocks, it didn't really sell off as much. If we're looking at some other tech names, like we saw Apple, NVIDIA, has some quite some decent pullbacks, sell-offs. Tesla did not. It stayed within basically Thursday's range. what are we seeing here? The 834 was pretty important. Again, it was kind of our breakdown location here that broke this pivot. And then we have this candle here, buyers. We shoot back up. We retested the 886 right here, and we saw 3 days of selling. So we're looking at an hourly chart. Definitely would be continue to be interested in shorting into this level. And on the other hand, in the short term, so like an early week pivot, the 856, 857 could be utilized as a pivot. It's been somewhat respected, not a whole lot, not as clean, you could say. It's been respected, but it's not super clean. We're looking earlier in last week, we had a breakover, we held, slight dip under and then held, and a lot of back and forth here. So it's been being respected, but it's just not as clean. Maybe 860, just we could say that range from 855 to 860. So I'm not going to put too much focus on that level. But if it, say, stays under here another day, it's more likely to base and try to break lower. If it starts getting back over this, it might base and try to break up. But again, it's more of a relative location, not necessarily as important for, what do I want to say this? Not as important for taking trades off of, but just more of a gauge. Like if it's staying under this, it's more likely to maintain lower end pressure and break. If it gets back over, that means buyers are starting to jump back in. So on the downside, we do have this 834, which has been pretty important. We had a few attempts to break under it on Friday. We broke it initially, and then a little back and forth. So it looks like if we can clear Friday's lows, we don't have much until here, which was our breakup candle at 815. Underneath that, and we do have a gap at the close of this candle at 810 or 809.87. So you can look to target that range. Underneath that, 800, and then if we look at an hourly chart, anything under 800, we can try to flush towards this low right here, and then 764, 750. 750 area is more of where we had our reversal base, so would be looking for a gradual move down towards this 850 if we do break the Friday's lows. Don't know if we'll get all the way down there, but at least towards 800, 810 would be a good start. Breaking that, and then 770, 750 would be more reasonable. Now, last one, this was the extra one for the watch list. We had Google. Alright, so for Google, what we had was similar to SPY. We had a fake breakout. So we had this breakdown candle right here that broke these lows. And for the majority of the week, we kept rejecting up here. We tried to spike over, and then we failed all the way back to the bottom end of this range. At the same time, there was selling up here. There was buying present around the 2660. Held here. Even on this reversal day, we tried to hold here. Once it broke on Friday, sellers continued to stay under. And as long as we do stay under this, we're continuing to favor short side towards, there's 2580, 2550. So we'll see how that pans out. Really on an hourly chart, pretty similar to see this pivot right here was also very important. Apart from this spike right here, there was a lot of price action happening at 206. You can see it from, well, on this day, on this Wednesday, kept rejecting. Quick spike over, right back down. Same story here. And then on our breakdown on Friday, break, retest, down. So definitely want to keep an eye here. If we stay under here, we'll look to stay short. If we start capturing this, could look to start targeting this gap here or Friday's highs, and then maybe even back to 2706. On the downside, the big zone is the 2550. On a reversal day, on the 24th, again we had to break over and we held here. So this is likely to produce some buying, at least maybe for an intraday bounce, if anything. And there's not too much I have in between here. There is somewhat of a zone around here, like 27, high 2550 to 2580. Oh, we're already on the hourly chart. We go on a 5-minute. We can look at this right here. Yeah, we have a bit of a zone right here. We'll say 25.80, and then 25.50. So that's pretty much it for this week. My thesis is more down. I'm favoring continuation of the downside, based on how at least the market looked on close on Friday. I do think if we're going back to SPY, that we're going to end up breaking under this low and rotating back down before trying a rally back up. But I definitely favor downside. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below or even write them on our blog. Hopefully this is a bit helpful. I'm definitely going to be focusing on these names for this week, but they're not going to be the only names I'm going to be focusing on. SPY is definitely going to be one of the favorites. So hopefully this can help provide you guys some trade ideas. For the most part, I use these levels for day trade opportunities, not necessarily swing trades, not even necessarily buy and hold levels. They're all used for day trades. Our last few videos can kind of help you better understand how we use these levels for day trades if necessary. But apart from that, hope these videos help. And if you guys like them, please drop a like and subscribe, and we'll keep pushing these out every weekend. Hope you all have a great trading week, and if there's any questions, feel free to contact us through here, through Instagram, through our email, or even through our website. Hopes everyone has a wonderful rest of their weekend and enjoys a great trading week.